Spoiler alert, they are not the same. I got reviews for The Last House and The End of Oak Street, plus The Deb from Rebel Wilson coming up next. Hello and welcome back to the Movie Review Show. This week we are talking two movies that are pretty similar but starkly different in their success. It's The Last House and The End of Oak Street. Plus I'm also talking the directorial debut of Rebel Wilson in The Deb. But first we're leading off with the big movie news for this week, and that is our official X-Men cast. Announced at D23 just the other day, we got Kit Connors as Cyclops, Samara Weaving as Emma Frost, of course, Sadie Sink as Jean Grey. Those are the three that we knew about. Then we got the announcement of Maya Boyd as Storm, Indy Navarrete as Rogue, Christopher Abbott is our Professor X, and Adam Driver is our villain, Mr. Sinister. This announcement was, I think, kind of funny, actually, because Marvel is suffering from the own hype train that they've created. This is a really great cast. This is a group of fantastic actors. But none of them are huge movie stars. Adam Driver, of course, had Star Wars, but that kind of fell off. That crashed and burned. We all saw Rise of Skywalker. And since then, he does smaller projects, and he's fantastic in them. But that's the biggest name on this list. So when you have the big announcement at D23, everyone knew the X-Men was the big closeout announcement that was coming. And there was no big Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider type moment. So the response seems mixed or muted, despite the fact that this cast is really fantastic. It's a bunch of very respectable actors. Kit Connors I've seen in a few things. I've enjoyed him. Samara Weaving, obviously great. I thought Sadie Sink was already fantastic as Jean Grey. Maya Boyd seems to have a very well-respected theater career, and honestly, if you look past at Alexandra Shipp and Halle Berry, the Storm castings have been the most successful, at least in their future careers. Storm hasn't done so well on screen themselves, but the actresses have in the future, so I'm very excited for Maya Boyd. Indy Navarrete as Rogue is the big surprise. It seemed like we were confirmed that it was Kaylee Spaney. I talked about this in my last video. I did a whole monologue talking about how excited I was for Kaylee Spaney as Rogue, and then it's Indy Navarrete. This is still a good casting. Indy Navarrete is probably going to be a Best Actress nominee. It is Disney capitalizing on someone on a meteoric rise, which there's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, I think Indy Navarrete's performance in Obsession is so fantastic that I am very willing to believe in her abilities going forward. The two I'm most excited for are actually Christopher Abbott and Adam Driver, because those are two solid actors. I'm really interested in Christopher Abbott as Professor X. This is going to be his biggest role, for sure, and he's been in a lot of things that I like. I do think we're probably still missing 1 to 2 X-Men casting announcements here. Depending on whether Rogue is part of the original 5 or not, we're either probably going to get Beast or Angel or Iceman. I'm not sure, but I feel like we'll definitely have some more coming in the future, and we almost certainly have to still have a Magneto casting. I'm still very excited for this movie. I really do like the direction that Disney is going with this one. Jake Schreier as the director is a great choice. Thunderbolts is probably the best movie Marvel has had since Endgame, before Spider-Man Brand New Day. But that movie basically took a shit at the box office. But they still recognized how fantastic of a movie that was, how well it was made, and they stuck with Jake Schreier. And I'm really happy to see that. Pat Scola appears to be the cinematographer for this. He has worked on Sing Sing, Lurker, A Quiet Place Day One, most recently The Death of Robin Hood. The Death of Robin Hood is a movie I did not like at all, but I led every single one of my reviews saying how fucking beautiful it looked. So having him on as cinematographer, everything about this movie feels like they're really trying to make a good movie over a spectacle movie, and they're scaling things back rather than having a big show. And it feels really hopeful to me to see that. Of course, we still gotta wait 2 more fucking years before we see this thing or anything about it, but so far, it actually is looking very good, despite some of the not very enthusiastic reactions coming out of D23. Coming up after the break, got a review for The End of Oak Street.
And now, before the next show starts, let's enjoy an intermission. You'll find our snack bar chock full of good things to eat and drink. Tasty, tempting hot dogs, thirst-quenching soft drinks, fresh, crunchy popcorn, a complete assortment of delicious candy, and a full line of cigarettes.
The End of Oak Street, directed and written by David Robert Mitchell, stars Anne Hathaway, Ewan McGregor, Maisie Stella, Christian Convery. Synopsis: the Platt family bands together to navigate their new surroundings after a cosmic event transports their suburban neighborhood to someplace unknown. This movie fucking rocks. I think this movie's having more fun with itself than any other movie that has come out this year, and there are some really fun movies out this year. It takes itself not too serious and really goes for it with some of its jokes, some of its violence. There were a few moments where I was really surprised at what I was seeing. I loved how well this movie opened. Really set up each one of this family of four and their different dynamics. The parents are on the brink of divorce. The daughter is this outlier. She's ready to go to college, can't go to college because her parents are having a financial hardship. Their son is there. He's getting bullied. He's got a bully chasing him. That bully comes back in a way that you have to respect the commitment. And they get pretty quickly into the time travel aspect. And I like the way that they did it. They just go, yeah, it's a fucking wormhole, and it transported us into the past. Boom, done. Really don't have to linger on it too long. And after that, after they're transported, it's boom, right into the dinosaurs. Raptors, T-Rex, tortoises, alligators, everything is fucking awesome. And I love that they went for a historically accurate dinosaur depiction. They got the feathers, they're looking like big-ass birds. I think that really helps split it apart from something like Jurassic Park. This movie, like I said, is just having so much fun. It's having fun with its camera work. They're doing tracking, chasing shots, shaky cams. There's a lot of split diopter in this movie, but not in an annoying way. The split diopter, it's become a bit of a meme, and it was seeming like this was going to be a meme movie. But they isolate it mostly to one scene, and that made me actually really like it. It has real violence. These dinosaurs, they're eating people, and you're seeing them eat people. There's one moment in particular, spoiler alert, Ewan McGregor gets eaten. It is shocking. You see his leg get bitten off, and you're like, oh, damn, they bit his leg off. And then you see him get eaten, and you go, holy fuck, they ate Ewan McGregor. It has real jokes in this thing. The dinosaurs are fucking. It is the best part of the movie. It is hilarious. And it has emotion. When the dog comes to the rescue at the end, my theater is fucking cheering. When the family reunites at the end, you feel happy despite the fact that maybe the science doesn't make sense. This isn't a movie you want to think too much about. You just go in and you have a fantastic time. The performances, they're good enough. Anne Hathaway, great as usual. Ewan McGregor, serviceable. I would say maybe the weakest part, but he does enough. And him and Anne Hathaway have good enough chemistry that you really feel invested into their relationship and hoping that they're able to work through their differences. Maisie Stella is someone that I really like. Her acting is effortless. She just seems to sink right into the roles. She doesn't have a ton to do in this movie, but even in the small moments that she does, you can just really feel how great of an actress she is. I really enjoyed her in last year's My Old Ass. That's the only other thing I've seen her in, but she is fantastic in that too. This is just a genuine fun time at the movies movie. Reminiscent of the original Jurassic Park, just something you can turn on and just have a great time with, and all packed into a nice, quick 90 minutes. For me, this is a solid 4 out of 5. I would really recommend this. It's just so much fun. The Last House, directed by Louis Leterrier, written by Matthew Robinson, starring Greta Lee, Wagner Moura, Riley Chung, Noah Alexander Sosnowski, Emma Ho, Gabriel Barbosa. Synopsis: a family of 4 is suddenly sealed inside their house with no way out and must work together to survive against both their dwindling resources and the mysterious looming threat that is keeping them trapped. I was highly disappointed in this one. It feels somewhat like a twin movie with The End of Oak Street. It is a family of 4. They're stuck inside for supernatural reasons, but this one just does not work at all. Where The End of Oak Street is extremely fun, The Last House is boring as all hell. This one gets to the plot even quicker than the end of Oak Street does, but to its detriment. You never get a sense of the family dynamics. You don't care about anyone else in the neighborhood who's getting locked in their house. So the moments where they're trying to connect with their neighbors, you don't care at all. And once the family is locked in, it is immediately clear that this is supposed to be a pandemic lockdown allegory, and they're just behind for that to be emotionally effective in any way. And there's really no tension. The family's basically getting along for the most part. They get a little hungry and a little fucking snippy, but that's about it. And in order for them to survive, the movie breaks literally the only rule it has established, and that is that no one can get out of their house. They can't break through the walls, they can't break through the glass, they can't open their doors, but for some magic reason, this family's able to get up through the fucking chimney that is never explained in any sufficient way. So that's a major flaw. But the fatal flaw is this is a monster movie. Much like the end of Oak Street is a monster movie and you get a ton of dinosaurs, this is a monster movie, but they never utilize the monster until the very end, in which you're already not giving a shit, and the monster still is not utilized very well. And you can't have a monster movie with no monster. It ruins the whole fucking thing. So this ends up basically being a pandemic lockdown documentary, so it is extremely boring. And the performances are wooden, pretty terrible. Wagner Moura and Greta Lee, they have their moments, but for the most part, I thought both of them were pretty poor in this movie. The kids are innocent. The older version of the kids, not as innocent, but innocent enough. And again, I was so disappointed in this because Matthew Robinson wrote Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, a movie that I really, really enjoyed to begin this year. But this movie does not have any of the pizzazz or taking any of the risks that Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die did. And I was just really bummed out by this thing. It also sets up a sequel, which is just eye-rolling because you do not want to spend any more time in this world. I gave this one a sad 2 out of 5. I do not think this one is worth your time at all. Last up this week, The Deb, directorial debut by Rebel Wilson, written by Hannah Riley, Meg Washington, and Rebel Wilson, stars Natalie Abbott, Charlotte McInnes. Synopsis is an original comedy musical about two teenage girls attending a debutante ball in a small town. Basically, this is an R-rated Italian Disney Channel Basically, this is an R-rated Australian Disney Channel original movie, which is a compliment and a negative. It has the quirkiness and nostalgia of a DCOM. Unfortunately, also has the production value of a DCOM. Follows the same tropes as it too. You got the cool girl, you got the not cool girl. They're friends. You go on a journey of the not cool girl accepting herself and becoming cool. You get the story of the cool girl being less of an asshole. They stop being friends in the middle. They become friends again at the end. It's the usual play. Musicals aren't my favorite, so there's a knock on it there. And I'm not exactly at the age group to be very interested in the DCOM storyline anymore. But I didn't totally hate my time with it. Some of the songs kind of hit. Most of them don't, but some of them are actually pretty good. The performances are all fine. It is very funny to watch because Rebel Wilson is in this, and when she shows up, some people have it, and Rebel Wilson just has a comedic timing that is so on a different level from everyone else in this movie, and it's just fun to see when that happens. There is a very wonderful cameo at the end of this movie that I was very happy I stuck around to see. A little bittersweet, but I was still glad to see it. I'm going to give this one a 2.5 out of 5. I think others may really like it. It's a fun enough storyline that I think people will enjoy it. Just not me. That's it for this week's show. Thank you so much for joining me. Next week, we will be talking Tony and Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma. 2 releases I am very excited for. So until then, let me know what you watched. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you. Bye-bye.